Got us to see him one together with Crazy and Nelly. Oh, Nelly. Oh my god, it's a panda. That actually looks so good. I actually, the pink with like the pink in the eyes and the pink like in the armor, that actually kind of fits well together. We got us a Draco as a Windwalk, I think, trying to see if we can rush out of the gates first. Jernarm as a Fury Warrior. We got us as pretty much a shot up with Scorpion X over as the Arms Warrior. Gonna be a Monk charging out as Kudaka. Gonna have a bit of a rematch, I think, with Draco. Last time the two fought each other, it was actually kind of close-ish to one another. Gonna be a Ring of Peace, a Ring of Frost around the corner. Draco getting blasted out by an Arcane Surge. That's gonna be all full damage getting ramped up together with a bit of a touch of the magic, trying to see if he can control it. Mad Blast around the corner for Kudaka. And it's gonna be a port for Draco, trying to see if he can back up out of there as it's gonna be Ring of Fire, trying to see if he can pressure the Monk around the corner. I think does connect with the Ring of Fire maybe the first time. Gonna be a bit of missiles. Gonna be really down for Draco to utilize the line of sight, a little bit of cover that's created between like the platform that's up here in front of him, the pillar, in order to give himself as much of like a approach. If he can use those to cover his approach towards Kudaka, close the gap, hit him with an ink gap, maybe with a leg sweep right after, he'll be in a great spot. Shrink it out Kudaka. I think they are playing normal Shimmer. Knocked back onto the Monk with a Polymorph immediately. Try to see if he can control him as best possible. Ring of Peace to follow. Yeah, but it's going to be yet another Poly trying to control that Serenity as best as possible. During that Serenity, that's where the Monk could go for a bunch of... Oh my god, just jab right through the ring. Wait, I guess he's the art, isn't he? Or maybe just immune, because it is an ink cap, isn't it? Gonna be all the time. As long as Kudaka uses his all time at the right moment, he will be okay. Draco trying to see if he can close that gap. He got that Zuwen rushing out versus Kudaka. That's going to be the Mage trying to establish a bit of control. Shift the power to try to recuperate some of the cooldowns. Still holding on to an Icebox, so he should be okay. There's a win, not letting an in-cap stay locked in. And it's going to be big missiles to follow off that Arcade Surge. Kudaka has a lot of damage potential. Nova onto Draco as they do go in for a jab that kind of rounds him around the platform. With Alexi, Kudaka may have to go for an Ice Block. Could be in a bit of a bad spot. As Draco trying to see if he can recuperate some of his cooldowns back. If he can get Serenity back a little quicker, he could potentially go for that double kick combo again. Breath onto the Ring of Peace with a Poly right after. Kudaka trying to go for a little bit of a damage established here versus Draco. Quite a bit of output right now. Knocking it back. Doesn't quite reach the Fire Ring yet again though. Oh my god, if you could knock it back into the Fire Ring multiple times over, that'd be so good. Draco got himself Big Fist of Fury, trying to see if he can stay on top of Kudaka as best as he can. Gonna be Draco actually getting kind of low in health. Ring of Frost on one side. Does maybe Kudaka go to the other? No, just shift in power instead. Trying to see if he can recuperate some of their cooldowns offensively and defensively. In cap onto Kudaka, swap it wrong person. Lexub is going to force out a trick, and Draco does have a lot of damage potential here. Could go in for a bunch of Serenity. Karma to follow, trying to see if he can play off of that Karma. Is going to go for the Night ability yet again. If he can just get those kicks inside of that line, he'll actually be able to get resets on it and then continue the buff. Big damage coming down for Draco. Brent to follow. Kudaka trying to see if he can play defense here. Needs to use mobility and cooldowns and CC in order to control the burst of the Monk. Trying to go for a bit of recovery with a shift in power. Every time they're using shift in power, that's potentially Ice Block coming back up off of cooldown. That's potentially Blinks coming back off of cooldown. That's a Fire Breath coming back off of cooldown, or Dragon's Breath. So you actually got a lot of these abilities coming back little by little. Kudaka using that mobility and the cooldown reduction in order to try to see if it can burst versus Draco. We are getting into that dampening slowly crawling up, 16% dampener right now. And we'll see how it ends up working out for either one of the two. I think the dampening ends up hurting Draco more than Kudaka, just because they at least have like an immunity that they gotta fish for. Gonna be a mad leg sweep, big touch of the Thunderlord with a massive root as Draco trying to see if he can close the gap. Does try to see if he can wait out that ultra time. Kudaka with a blink with a poly right after. Could be a trinket for Draco, trying to just spam out the polys in case Draco does go in for a trinket. Again, just trying to establish as much control of this Monk as they can into yet another Shimmer. Using those Shimmers in order to give him some mobility. Knocking it back in the fire. Draco could be a bad spot. Maybe Barrage taking it down. Trying to maybe go for a Karma. Oh, mad touch of the match. It does end up crushing him. That was so close. He didn't even have Karma. So actually, he did everything right there. Kudaka just overpowered him with the power of the Arcane. Big lockdown by Jernum as Kudaka just completely spent after finding that Monk. That was an awesome back and forth between the two. It's actually so close. I imagine if you just change the map maybe like going the Grand instead of this place, or potentially even a Lordaeron or Dalaran sewers, the outcome could have potentially been different. But both of those two played each other really, really well. Gonna be a mad army getting coalesced around Jernum, as Jernum is having to take all those demons back behind the pillar. Is Fassel gonna be summoning up a Pit Lord? Does get himself the big old tyrant in order to get himself? Yeah, goes the Pit Lord. Jernum is gonna have to use everything he can in order to survive the demonic army. Does he realize there's a Pit Lord right behind them? Charging out towards Fassel, but a Mortal Coil setting him running in the other direction. That is so unfortunate. Just absolutely gets savaged out by the army of the demonic minions. So many of them too. Actually, Fassel looks like he rolled real lucky on a lot of his rolls. Crazy Nelly trying to see if he can get himself a good angle. Aim shot in the opener. I think do get a lockdown onto Fassel for just a second. That's gonna be a bit of that what's it called? Rapid fire? Yeah, not rapid fire. Volley. As I guess maybe trying to get some more damage, maybe some more cleave onto all these pets. As now taking a little bit of damage from Fassel, but there's a lot of demon doggers charging out together with a main pet. Fassel just trying to see if he can dip around the corner together with a bit of a heal. Lockdown onto Fassel with a bit of a silence as the chimeric poison cycling through all of his toxins onto the warlock. Knocking back the pets, but a Mortal Coil is going to make Nelly. That's super unfortunate. With a fear right after, Fassel does throw with the demon doggers. I think it's over, right? That's unfortunate. Crazy Cat did say that, you know, kind of rusty for PvP. Kind of rusty, kind of been out of loop for a little bit. So I can't really blame him. Yeah, you did good, man. You did good for your first round. Compared to Fassel, who duels regularly, that's definitely not the easiest competitor to go up against. You see what he did to that warrior? I mean, come on. Gonna be a Tyrant joining in. Fassel trying to see if he can just fight right through Scorpion. Can he do it? That's gonna be mad damage out of the... Oh my god, the demons! Yo! No way! Fassel! How do you go from one warrior into a hunter into yet another warrior and you just fight right through the pain that is the arms warrior? Gonna be a stun lockdown by Primo, as Primo still taking a lot of damage of his own, actually trying to see if he can take down Fassel, but trying to go for flash shield. Could be an interrupter potentially. Second Felguard joining in. That's going to be yet another axe toss into Primo. Does Fassel have enough damage here? Primo could potentially be in a bit of trouble. Does he himself any much survivability? Going to be locked down. That's going to be dispersed. Trying to go for recovery, but 36% dampener is not really giving you that much support. Definitely needs to go for as much self-healing as possible. Power word life in situations like these would be amazing, but we are getting to that higher dampening, so I do wonder if that ability would get better or not. Fassel kind of back behind the pillar, looking for a bit of a reset, sending out some demon bolts, but he doesn't really have a lot of ways to like recuperate health, I don't think. So now he just needs to go. Mortal Coil, I think the demon dog was also committed a bite at the end there. I think it was just all those things happen at once, and Fassel actually walks out with 4 kills at the end of the day. Well done, well done. The fact that you just looked into the eyes of an arms warrior who got sharpened blades, warbreaker, everything thrown at you, just trying to see if he can cut you down, and you just stared into his face and you held your ground. That was intense. I mean, from one warrior with a Pit Lord into another warrior with a full demonic overpowering army. That was actually so good. Well done, well done. Let's get ourselves another one going here, boys, yeah?